For me, I started a new role in January and have previously been part of the CSI training and projects for void improvement, targets, etc. And for me, I felt it was my next step forward to make sure that my team were buying into that as well, so that I could use that in my daily job and improve what we do.
I've done what could loosely be described as business process re-engineering in previous jobs, but never with any real training. And the opportunity that CSI gave me, or that I perceived it anyway, was that I'd get a chance to formally learn some skills which would help me to do that within my role.
Well, I'd spoken to previous delegates. I'm one of, somebody that I work quite closely with in Southern Housing Group told me about it and spoke very positively about the course as well.
I was invited on this course as we're a new contractor for Southern Housing Group, delivering response repairs and void maintenance for their London region.
I think from seeing things that the CSI team have done in the past, to be able to be more of a part of it and to make more of a change within the role I work with, it just gave me the opportunity to sort of have a voice, really.
Learning, I always say, about the waste work, that was the thing I found most interesting, because it really makes you realise that sometimes when you're doing something, it really doesn't need all that time on it. You could just simply change one thing that you're doing in the way you do it, and it would reduce the time you do it in about, it could be a couple of hours, as I say, a long time. And that's really been shown in our team, a lot of the things that I've learned from systems thinking regarding waste work.
For me, probably the red beads. Part of that is to do with the actual team building that we did as a group. It made us concentrate on each other and worked as a team to get the end result. And I think that's basically what the trainers taught me.
Probably the one that I liked the most was the Chugger, which is the charity mugger exercise. The thing which I remember most about it was the massive list of things we came up with, which impacted on the Chugger's performance, but how few of those were actually down to their choice, or that they had an influence on. And when I went back to work, it made me look at the things that my team did in a lot more detail, and actually they're the same. There are very few things that they can actually influence directly themselves.
I really love the capability charts. I mean, I found them fascinating, never come across them before, and have introduced them everywhere within our business. So yeah, been great.
For my project, I reduced the amount of review account recommendations that we receive on a monthly basis.
So what I did was looked at how we could increase the number of faults that were fixed first time. And to do that, I looked at two steps. Firstly, to increase the number of incidents that people actually did fix first time, but more importantly, to reduce the number of incidents. So I measured the number of incidents that we were getting each day.
To look at the time that's taken from the moment that one of our customers phones the housing group to report a repair to the time that our contractor finishes that repair and our customer is happy with that repair.
I want to cut back on waste work, the waste work the resident services team do, so that we can spend more time with the customers and do what the customers want us to do.
My improvement project is to ensure we improve our repair service, working very closely with the client to increase first time fix and to do it on time.
We had a 25% reduction in the number of incidents that we had reported to the help desk per week, and also on the number of calls which were abandoned. That is when somebody's telephoning the help desk and then giving up before the call is answered. That went down from a 15% abandonment rate to a 7% abandonment. Both of those improvements are directly related to the work we've done with CSI.
So I asked resident services managers and resident services officers within our region to complete a demand analysis sheet for 2 weeks. And what I then did was I analysed the information that they provided and actually found that 60% of the work that we were doing was actually waste work and 40% was value. So that's quite a lot of waste work we're doing.
Over each region, there's about 70 or 80 review account recommendations a week. That's now reduced down. That did reduce down in the first 2 months to about 43 per region. So I was really, really proud at that point, because obviously I realised that what I'd done and what we'd put into place had really, really worked. So it was excellent.
Begged and pleaded. I explained what it was that I was doing, and actually when I sat down with people on a one-to-one basis and said, look, this is what I want to do, they understood why, because they were feeling the strain as well and they could see the benefits of it. So yeah, so once I explained what it is that I want to do and what hopefully I can achieve, they were happy to be involved.
I'm just about to do some demand analysis with them, explain what the process is about, and then look at how they perceive delays are built into the process that's there at the moment.
And we've also carried out fishboning exercises with different parts of the group that come into contact, for example, the resident, the contractor, maintenance inspectors, service centre staff, to see where there are issues or where we can make improvements in how we monitor that process.
Although they knew it was me that was doing the project, because I asked for their input and then put in place things that they had their own ideas, they felt that they were also helping, so it wasn't sort of like I was just doing all the work type thing. Because I asked for their input and then put into place their thoughts, they really got into it, which was good.
Well, I included them from the start of the project. The most important thing I wanted to say to them was that it wasn't a witch hunt. We weren't looking to apportion blame in this process. We were actually looking at the work that they were doing and understanding how we could make it better. And by including them at the start, so in the initial analysis, and explaining to them what the project was about, it got their buy-in at a very early stage.
It's definitely answered a lot of questions that were going on in my head, and I think deep down inside I was a system thinker anyway, so it's brought that out in me. But it's really made me a lot more resident focused, which is the reason why I'm in my job. I work for the resident services team because I want to work with residents.
I've now got to know people in other departments. If they need any help with anything, then they'll come to me, which I love.
It's completely restructured my way of thinking. I was always into processes, but I've very much looked into processes, procedures, understanding, really looking at and following through with it.
I have a much more balanced view about the use of data and opinion. It can be easy to get taken either entirely data-driven or entirely opinion-driven, and what the course has helped me to do is to take a balance of those two things.
It's given me the confidence to question why a process is in place within my department, because recently we've had a lot of change in my team, and I don't think it's been explained as it should have done. And have been on the CSI, sort of, you know, have your CSI hat on and think, well, actually, you know, I do want to question this because I don't really see how I fit into this and what I'm going to achieve from this process being changed.
The course is excellent because it reminds you that actually the customer is the reason we're here is because we're here to deliver a service to the customer. So it's important that the organisation adopt this systems thinking approach, because you're then delivering a service that your customer wants, that your residents want, and not what we think our residents want.
I think because it gives a level playing field for everybody, a common set of terms and references, which mean that when I'm talking to other people in the organisation about things and using some of the terminology within CSI, they understand what it is, and they also, more importantly, understand what it means. Just
to ensure the procedures are the way of thinking, we all think in the same way across every department, across the whole business.
You get to know people in the organisation who you wouldn't usually get to meet, so it's really, really good. I definitely recommend it to anybody.
It is a positive. Once the people are trained and understand the thinking behind it, then the improvements will start to be seen.
We're all a system thinker inside, just needs to